Welcome to SATV News. This is Shahlar Bint Shafi with the headlines. ICT verdict in Hasina's crimes against humanity case tomorrow. It will be shown on BTV and large screens at several locations in Dhaka. Certain quarter plotting anarchy over tomorrow's Hasina's verdict, says Folkrul. The nation must stand firm against such attempts. CEC urges stakeholders to help ensure voters' safety. EC holds second day of electoral talks with 12 political parties. The International Crimes Tribunal 1 will broadcast live its verdict in the Crimes Against Humanity case against 3 accused, including ousted Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, tomorrow. The prosecution announced the broadcast arrangement today, stating that judgment will be shown on Bangladesh television and on large screens at several locations in Dhaka. The verdict will also be streamed on the International Crimes Tribunal's official Facebook page. The 3-member Tribunal 1, led by Justice Muhammad Ghulam Mortuza Majumdar, set 17th November for the pronouncement of the verdict on 13th November. BNP Secretary General Mirza Fakhrul Islam Alamgir has said a certain quarter is conspiring to create anarchy in the country, centering on a verdict against former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina on mass killing charges. The nation must stand firm against such attempts, Fakhrul urged while speaking at a discussion marking the death anniversary of Maulana Abdul Hamid Khan Bhashani at the National Press Club today. Tomorrow, the verdict will be delivered against fascist Hasina for mass killings. This has created uncertainty and fear across the country. A group is trying to use this to plunge Bangladesh into chaos again. We must stand united. We cannot afford to waste the opportunity created by the student public uprising. We must keep the path of democratic transition smooth, he said. Home Advisor Mohammad Jahangir Alam Chaudhry has said the government will execute whether verdict the International Crimes Tribunal delivers tomorrow without any delay. He made the remark while briefing journalists after meeting with senior officials of law enforcing agencies and the local administration at Borishal police lines around 3 p.m. today. Earlier, the advisor addressed separate gatherings in Kuakata yesterday afternoon at the Potokali Circuit House this noon. The law enforcing agencies are fully prepared to prevent any form of unrest in Bangladesh. The Bangladesh Jamaat-e-Islami and 7 of its allies announced today that its demonstrations will continue until all its demands, especially those concerning the implementation of the July National Charter Ordinance and a national referendum, are fully met. The announcement was made by Jamaat Secretary General Mia Gholam Parwar at a joint press conference of the allied parties at the Al-Falah Auditorium in Mogbazar. However, the bloc did not declare the indefinite blockade of the chief advisor's residence, State Guest House Jamuna, although it had been widely expected. Parwa stated that the party's movement would remain in force to ensure the complete implementation of the demands that have only been partially fulfilled. Chief Election Commissioner AMM Nasiruddin on Sunday sought cooperation from political parties to create a safe environment for voters during the national election to be held in early February 2026. We need your support in bringing voters to the polling stations and creating a safe environment, he said, while presiding over a dialogue with 6 registered political parties at Nirbachan Bhavan in the city. The discussion began at 10:30 a.m. as a part of Commission's ongoing electoral dialogue with political parties ahead of the 13th parliamentary election. We want your suggestions on how we can deliver a free and fair election and ensure a level playing field for all. The CEC said the Election Commission has already formulated a code of conduct for the upcoming election. Bus services of Borishal with other parts of the country, including Dhaka, remain suspended since last evening following a violent clash between transport workers and students at bus terminal over a dispute regarding half fares. The sudden suspension of bus operations caused immense suffering to the passengers. Many arrived at the terminal this morning only to return home disappointed. Hirapaika transport workers said no buses left the terminal for any destination since morning. However, a few BRTC buses were seen operating on a few routes. Workers under the banner of a Shromik Kormachari Oikyo Porishad brought out a torch procession in Chattogram city yesterday evening, demanding that the government withdraw its move to lease out Chattogram Port's Laldia terminal and new mooring container terminal to any foreign or local company. Several hundred activists of pro-BNP and left-leaning workers organization joined the procession that started from Noyabaja intersection in Halishahar at 6 p.m. and ended at Boropul intersection. Addressing a rally prior to the event, Trade Union Center Chattogram District Committee President Topon Dotto said Chattogram Port must remain under the control of dock workers, C&F workers and the country's working people. Viewers, we are taking a short break. Please stay with us.
আধুনিক প্রযুক্তিতে তৈরি এই পশুখাদ্য যেমন নিরাপদ তেমনি স্বাস্থ্যকর। এসএ ফিড, নিরাপদ ফিড, স্বাস্থ্যকর প্রোটিন। এসএ অ্যাগ্রো ফিডস লিমিটেড একটি এসএ গ্রুপ অফ কোম্পানিজের প্রতিষ্ঠান।
Grand Palace, 5-star chain hotel, Zinda Bazar, Sylhet. Local and international cuisines. Exclusive banquet hall for all events. 5-star luxurious rooms and suites with bulletproof glass. Fiberglass swimming pool. Relaxing spa. Well-equipped gym. Experience panoramic beauty at SATV restaurant. Welcome to Grand Palace Hotel. Grand Palace Hotel and Resorts, Jollar Par, Zinda Bazar, Sylhet, Bangladesh.
বাংলাদেশে দীর্ঘ ৩৭ বছরের সাফল্যের অগ্রযাত্রায় এসএ পরিবহন পার্সেল অ্যান্ড কুরিয়ার সার্ভিস এখন আধুনিক ও শৈল্পিক স্থাপত্য শিল্পের দেশ মালয়েশিয়ার কুয়ালালামপুরে। লাখো গ্রাহকদের প্রয়োজনের দিক লক্ষ্য রেখে নিশ্চিত বিশ্বস্ততা ও আন্তর্জাতিক মানের সেবা এখন ডোর টু ডোর। এসএ পরিবহন কুরিয়ার অ্যান্ড পার্সেল সার্ভিস SDN BHT 120 Jalanthun HS Lee 50050 Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. এসএ পরিবহন পার্সেল অ্যান্ড কুরিয়ার সার্ভিস।
Welcome back. You're watching SATV News. News from abroad. Thousands protested across Mexico on Saturday under the banner of Generation Z, denouncing rising violence after the public killing of an anti-crime mayor earlier this month. In Mexico City, a small group of hooded protesters tore down fences around the National Palace, where President Claudia Sheinbaum lives, prompting a clash with riot police who deployed tear gas, according to Reuters. Mexico City's Public Safety Secretary Pablo Venquez said in a press conference that 100 police officers were injured, including 40 who required hospital treatment. Another 20 civilians were also injured, Venquez told local media outlet Milenio. At least 4 people were killed when 2 boats carrying 95 irregular migrants capsized off the Libyan coastal city of Al Khums on Thursday, the Libyan Red Crescent said on Saturday. The first boat was carrying 26 migrants from Bangladesh, 4 of whom died, the Red Crescent said in a statement on its verified Facebook page. The second boat carried 69 migrants, including 2 Egyptians and dozens of Sudanese, the Red Crescent added, without specifying their fate. On Wednesday, the International Organization for Migration said that at least 42 migrants went missing and presumed dead after a rubber boat sank near the Al Buri oil field and an offshore facility northwestern of the Libyan coast. Britain will drastically reduce protections for refugees and end automatic benefits for asylum seekers, the Labour government announced late Saturday under the new plans aimed at slashing irregular immigration and countering the hard right. The measures, modelled on Denmark's strict asylum systems, were announced as Prime Minister Keir Starmer comes under pressure from surging popularity for the anti-immigrant Reform UK party. I'll end UK's golden ticket for asylum seekers, Interior Minister Shabana Mahmood declared in a statement. But the head of Britain's Refugee Council warned the government the measures would not deter people from trying to reach Britain and urged to rethink. Presently, those given refugee status have it for 5 years, after which they can apply for indefinite leave to remain and eventually get citizenship. But Mahmood's ministry, known as the Home Office, said it would cut the length of the refugee status to 30 months. US President Donald Trump bought at least $82 million in corporate and municipal bonds from late August to early October, including new investments in sectors benefiting from his policies, financial disclosures made public on Saturday showed. According to the forms released by the U.S. Office of Government Ethics, Trump carried out more than 175 financial purchases from 28 August through 2 October. The disclosures made under a 1978 transparency law called the Ethics in Government Act do not list exact amounts for each purchase, only providing a broad range. The maximum total value of the bond purchases exceeded $337 million, according to the filings.
Overseas with China, with Japan, with South Korea, with all of them. Malaysia, went to Malaysia.
At least 4 people were killed and 11 others injured in a powerful explosion at a firework factory in Hyderabad city's Sindh province, southern Pakistan, Saturday, officials said. Police and hospital authorities said rescuers transported the dead and injured to nearby hospitals. Footage shared on social media showed thick smoke rising from the collapsed building where firecrackers were manufactured. Sindh government officials said an investigation would determine whether the factory had proper permission and adhered to safety regulations. The cause of the blast remains unknown. Explosions at fireworks facilities are frequent in Pakistan. In August, 5 people died in a similar blast at a fireworks storage site in Karachi. Ukraine is working to resume the exchange of prisoners in Russia, hoping for the release of 1,200 Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and his Security Council chief said. "We are counting on the resumption of exchanges," Zelensky said in a video posted on Telegram messaging app on Sunday. Many meetings, negotiations and calls are now devoted to his security chief Rustem Umerov said on Saturday that he had held consultations in Turkey and the United Arab Emirates with the support of Kyiv's partners on resuming the process of exchanges. Lebanon will file a complaint to the UN Security Council against Israel for constructing a concrete wall along Lebanon's southern border that extends beyond the Blue Line, the Lebanese presidency said on Saturday. The Blue Line is a UN-mapped line separating Lebanon from Israel and the Israeli-occupied Golan Heights. Israeli forces withdrew to the Blue Line when they left South Lebanon in 2000. A spokesperson for the UN Secretary-General Stephanie Dujarric said on Friday the wall has made more than 4,000 square meters of Lebanese territory inaccessible to the local population. Global supplies of rare earth materials yttrium are running low due to Chinese export restrictions, sparking fears of shortage and surging costs that could hit aerospace energy semiconductor production. China, the main source of the element used in specialty alloys found in engines as well as coatings to shield against high temperature, restricted exports along with 6 other rare earths in April in retaliation of US tariffs, while a high-stakes meeting last month between US President Donald Trump and Chinese President Xi Jinping had raised industry hopes for a more reliable flow of critical materials. The dispute has not been fully resolved.
In China, it's not a plausible growth engine, hence the GNI reference. And they're concerned about the composition of domestic demand. If business has a lot of...
Before ending, we go through the headlines again. ICT verdict in Hasina's crimes against humanity case tomorrow. It will be shown on BTV and large screens at several locations in Dhaka. Certain quarter plotting anarchy over tomorrow's Hasina verdict, says Fokhrul. The nation must stand firm against such attempts. CEC urges stakeholders to help ensure voter safety. EC holds second day of electoral talks with 12 political parties. You are updated with our top stories so far here on SATV, and to know the latest news, visit www.satv.tv. Stay with SATV.